There is a question that has troubled sincere spiritual seekers for centuries. Can someone truly realize God while living an ordinary life? Can a person surrounded by work, family responsibilities, bills, and endless distractions still attain the highest spiritual realization? One day, a devotee asked Sri Ramakrishna exactly this question. He replied through one of the most unforgettable illustrations found in spiritual literature. Shrish, it is extremely difficult to proceed toward God while leading the life of a householder. Master, why so? What about the yoga of practice? At Kamarpukur, I have seen the women of the carpenter families selling flattened rice. Let me tell you how alert they are while doing their business. The pestle of the husking machine that flattens the paddy constantly falls into the hole of the mortar. The woman turns the paddy in the hole with one hand and with the other holds her baby on her lap as she nurses it. In the meantime, customers arrive. The machine goes on pounding the paddy, and she carries on her bargains with the customers. She says to them, "Pay the few pennies you owe me before you take anything more." You see, she has all these things to do at the same time. Nurse the baby, turn the paddy as the pestle pounds it, take the flattened rice out of the hole, and talk to the buyers. This is called the yoga of practice. 15 parts of her mind out of 16 are fixed on the pestle of the husking machine, lest it should pound her hand. With only one part of her mind, she nurses the baby and talks to the buyers. Likewise, he who leads the life of a householder should devote 15 parts of his mind to God. Otherwise, he will face ruin and fall into the clutches of death. He should perform the duties of the world with only one part of his mind. At first glance, this sounds impossible. How can someone give 15 parts of the mind to God while raising children, running a business, or working long hours? But Ramakrishna is not describing physical attention. He is speaking about the direction of the heart. Notice the woman in the story. She appears to be doing many things at once. She feeds her baby. She serves customers. She negotiates prices. She keeps the business running. Yet beneath all these activities, one awareness never disappears: the falling pestle. That single point remains constantly alive in her consciousness because she knows that one careless moment could cost her dearly. This is exactly how spiritual life develops. The outer life continues almost unchanged. You go to work, you care for your family, you solve problems, you fulfill responsibilities, but inwardly there is an unbroken remembrance of God, not forced, not tense, not artificial, simply constant. This is what Ramakrishna calls the yoga of practice, not escaping from life, not rejecting the world, but training the mind day after day to return to the divine until remembrance becomes effortless. At first, it requires discipline. Later, it becomes natural. Finally, it becomes impossible to forget. The Master's warning is equally profound. When all 16 parts of the mind become absorbed in worldly pursuits, anxiety, ambition, possessions, and endless desires, we lose ourselves. We become servants of circumstances instead of seekers of truth. That is what he calls falling into the clutches of death, not merely physical death, but spiritual forgetfulness. The solution is not abandoning the world, it is abandoning forgetfulness. A person may live in a monastery while thinking only of the world. Another may live in the middle of a busy city while silently remembering God every moment. According to Ramakrishna, only the second person has understood the secret. Perhaps the greatest miracle is not leaving the world behind. Perhaps it is carrying God into every ordinary moment, every conversation, every task, every difficulty, every breath. And when that silent remembrance becomes the center of life, the world itself becomes a path to God. That is the yoga of practice, and that is the path Sri Ramakrishna invites every sincere seeker to walk.